Welcome back to the training on the Custom Project Calculator. At this point, you would have completed and submitted the proposal stage of the calculator and received the approved calculator back from your COTR at BPA. At this stage, you will be starting on the completion report, and in this segment of the training, we'll walk through completing the measure fields in the completion report and reviewing the data to prepare for submittal to BPA. So when you receive it back and your time has passed, we'll fast forward through time now. Your project has been installed, the measurement and verification has been completed, and you're ready to complete the completion report. So you come back to the same spreadsheet, and this time we're going to actually start on the measure input tab, because I find that's some crucial information you need in order to complete the completion report, and you might as well enter it first. So looking back at this tab, we entered everything last time around in the proposal cells where row 4 said required. Now we're going to look at row 5, the for completion reports, and we're going to look for the requireds there. So I'm going to start in E, column E, with the actual completion report measure cost. Just for example, we're going to say that this project was right on and everything's just exactly what we thought it would be in the beginning. Scrolling over to site savings, column G is the actual completion report site savings. So since it's the perfect project, it has the exact same number of kilowatt hour savings. And still, in this example, no non-energy benefits or annual O&M cost change. And again, the grayed out cells to the right, if you do scroll over the section from column N to the right is estimated calculations. And then out here, beginning in AC, column AC, as it scrolls over, is the actual calculation. So if you did want to look at the grayed out cell numbers, you could look over here. But this information also ports over to the project summary. So now that I've entered the measure data, I come over to the completion report tab, just to the right of measure input. And this is where the completion report is input, as it would suggest. And a lot of the information here will be ported over from the project proposal, so you won't have to enter it twice. The project name, so I have the date submitted. I'm trying to make up a date here. I'll have the actual project start date. And the date of the measures installed. You'll notice this is a very quick project I've created here, probably unrealistic for a lot of the bigger custom projects. All right, and I'm going to have and be completed on the same day the measures installed, which we know is usually not possible. And the information below here, so from row 10 on down, is all copied over from the proposal. So once you have data in the project proposal, you won't have to re-enter it in the completion report. So try to save a little bit of time there. Scrolling down in this section, the next section is completion report funding information. So this is where at completion you'll specify what percentage of funding you are requesting from BPA for this project. So it shows me at the top total available BPA reimbursement using the project cost cap. So based on the savings I input, that's what I would be available if I wanted 100% of funding from EEI. So if I want to claim less than that, say I only want to claim 50% of that and I'm going to pay for the other half, I would enter 50% in row 28 for the percentage of BPA reimbursement requested from EEI. So then if you look down here in 32, you see that that's a calculated field and it shows that I'm only going to get $420 as half of $840. One section to note, row 34, total payment to end user. It says not applicable right now. This cell, if it is an industrial project and the pass-through payment requirement is being enforced, this will say required next to it. Or if it's any other custom project and you have less than 100% BPA reimbursement after February 1st of 2013. So do note in that 34, look for that required or NA. And then if there had been progress payments, 35 is just where you'd input how much you've already been paid through progress payments. So here it shows my final requested BPA reimbursement is $420. Scrolling down, there's a savings allocation. So this is something to look at, particularly if you're requesting less than 100% of BPA reimbursement. This section applies the rules in the implementation manual with regards to the allocation of savings to self-funded and to BPA-funded savings. I would recommend, if to understand that formula, look at the implementation manual. It's fully written out there, and that's the best way to understand it. But these are fully calculated in the completion report. Continuing on down, system description. The baseline information will pull over from the project proposal, so you do not have to re-enter that. And then the post-project wants a description of what the conditions are. That's where you would enter what the completed project looked like. So if you actually installed the equipment, if you made any modifications to the project, that goes in the post-project. Continuing to scroll down, the next section is M&V and energy savings calculations. So I will scroll this down so you can see the whole thing. First, in this section, there are two questions. The first is, were engineering calculations with verification used? That's one of the M&V approaches. We just want you to note yes or no if that was used. And then second is, did the final M&V plan change from the custom project proposal? So if you had any variations in your M&V plan, you would want to, this is a drop down yes or no, you would want to select yes here, and then enter any changes, a description of changes, into this box below. If nothing has changed, though, you would just select no, and we know that you used the same M&V plan that you proposed. So continuing down, after energy savings comes project costs. And here's where you provide a summary of the total project cost. In this section, as well as with the M&V section, if there's supporting documentation, I know there's likely supporting documentation on both of these, do submit that with the completion report when you submit it. Finally, you're pretty much done with the entry at this point. There is a reimbursement payment table showing a summary of the completion report information down here at the bottom of the completion report. And this just shows what you'll actually be receiving, what the total project savings are at site and at Busbar, what the sum of total measure reimbursement is, the sum of the project costs, and then the project cost cap, the 70% of project costs. Then the maximum BPA reimbursement summarizes your percentage of selected funding and the final requested reimbursement. So at this point, you are done with the completion report. I'll scroll down and show you that you know you're done when you get to the down to the bottom and all that's left is BPA approval. That is BPA use only. But before you submit it, you probably, as well as checking out that reimbursement table, would want to revisit the project summary and look at the completion report information. So here again, you can see each of the values calculated per the information input on the measure input tab. And again, this error section is a place to check if you have any issues. And in this case, everything's populating well, so we wouldn't expect to see any errors. At this point, the project is ready to be submitted. The project calculator is ready to be submitted to BPA for completion report approval. Again, when it's submitted, it should be emailed to eedocs@bpa.gov. Then it would be routed to your COTR and engineer for review, not yet uploaded into the interim system at this point. Following review and approval, you'll receive the custom project calculator back from your COTR, and that is the calculator that you would then plan to later submit to the interim system when you invoice. One last thing on here to point out on the subject of COTR approval, at the bottom, moving back over to the completion report, at the bottom of the completion report, and it exists at the bottom of the proposal as well, there's a BPA approval section. When you receive the calculator back, these dates will be populated. So you see in here the proposal date has been pulled over from the proposal, COTR completion report approval date, the COTR name, so who it's approved by, the engineering technical review provided by, so you'd know which engineer reviewed it, and the engineering technical review approval date. And then any notes, so if they made any notes during the review, those would be included here. And the same is present at the proposal. So at this point, you will have walked through and successfully completed a custom project calculator. As you begin to use this new calculator, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact your energy efficiency representative for support and with those questions. And thank you for taking the time to learn about how the spreadsheet works.